Hi everyone, so today I am going to be replacing the clutch pedal on my Vauxhall Zafira B 1.8 2007. So the issue's been that it's been knocking and getting really stiff and just horrible to use. So first things first, so I removed the end cap off the dashboard here by basically lifting this out of the way and then just pulling the cap off. The next thing to do was to remove the cover in here, which is just to push down and put a coin in there and pop it out. That removed that cover, and then the two screws that hold this on, and then that pops up and comes out of the way. Then I removed the little cover here that goes on underneath here with two push turn clips, one here and one here. You can do that by hand, that's not a problem. Then once I'd done that, I removed this panel here, which once you've got these screws out, just pops out, so that's quite easy to do. And then you have to remove all the screws for the lower panel here of the dashboard. There are two on the end here. There is one in the underneath the steering wheel in the cowling, and that's there. Then there are two, one, two there, and another one here. And once I've done all that, I then remove the steering wheel cover cowling, which is a centre screw in the bottom here, and then you turn the steering wheel until you see the covers over the screws here, one here and one that side. Then you take the surround of the key out, lever the top up, and then you've got two more screws holding the bottom cowling to the top, or to the steering column. One goes in here. Sorry if you can't see my finger. One goes in here, underneath that stalk, and then there's one over this side as well, behind here, which you can probably see better from here. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on there. There we go. And then the other screw is here, which is underneath this stalk, behind this stalk. The other thing I did do, which nobody mentioned, was I took off the foot heater tube. So it comes out of the heater up here. I can't get my hand in there. So it goes from here, comes across here and under here, and there's a push button Christmas tree, they call them, that goes in here. And then you have to sort of corkscrew it out to get it down. So the next job to do is to remove the electrical connection, which you can see there. And then there are three nuts. So two of the nuts hold the master cylinder in, up there somewhere, which I can now see a little bit easier with all of this out of the way, including the vent tube that goes under here. With that out of the way, there's a lot more accessibility. The one bolt I'm slightly concerned about is the one that holds the top of the box. This triangular bit that you can see there, the upside down triangular bit, that is held onto the steering column with a nut as well. So the other thing I have to do is to remove the master cylinder retaining clip and then clevis pin that holds the master cylinder to the pedal. So let's see how I get on. Okay, so this is the new pedal that's got to go in. I still haven't got the old one out yet. But I just wanted to let you know that the Haynes manual says that there's only one bolt that holds the top to the steering column. Actually, on a right-hand drive model, there's two. And to get to them, I've used an extension bar, a long extension bar, with a long 13mm socket. And to do it, I've had to go in through that bit up there, and then across the top of the steering column to the bracket at the top. You could see the Y-shaped bracket there. Just about, sorry about the camera. Okay, and that's the bit you can see there is this bit here on the new one. Right, so now all I need to do is take out the two bolts, or the two nuts holding the master cylinder in situ. That's my next job. So that was a nightmare job to get the pedal box back in again, but as you can see, it's in. The hardest part of the job was wiggling it out and then wiggling the new one in, and then reaching the bolts or the nuts that hold the master cylinder in place. The top two that hold the bracket in place, not too bad. You can actually get your hand in if you're lying upside down with your head on the brake pedal. You can get your right hand in and get the nuts on. Horrible job.